Madden holiday is here and we will play all night. Calling sick and sound sincere, in tackles will delight. The fridge is packed with drink and meat, the taste of victory sure is sweet.
Okay, first things first. Sorry this is up later than usual. I put a post on my channel earlier that I had just finished up scripting the random trade review on Doomsday Clock, and I was just completely exhausted and needed to get some sleep. I originally intended to finish that and then move right into recording this, and it just really did not happen at all. So, yeah, sorry about that again. Moving on, I wrote down a lot of this before the conclusion of the Monday night game that I predicted between Tampa Bay and Houston. So, again, there's not really too much to say there. Again, I won, so I wound up finishing 5-1 for the week. Tampa Bay won on the last second drive. Again, some very bad clock management. Again, Jaguar Gator 9 did a video on it. I'll probably link to it in the description. College-wise, Georgia did get by Tennessee in overtime, thanks to the Vols missing a last-second field goal to try to avoid that scenario. LSU mostly handled Florida, thanks a lot to a pick six in the second half. The only game I really missed on was the Shula Bowl, so at least something nice went Florida International's way. In the bigger picture, Clemson and Notre Dame pretty much ended their college football playoff hopes with their losses. Clemson could still win the ACC, but the Irish are going to need a lot of help. Again, Clemson basically just Clemsoned against Virginia Tech. Bad clock management. There's not a Jaguar Gator 9 video for that one. But yeah, they allowed Tech to get into position to kick a field goal in a fire drill scenario. It was a long kick, so I'm still surprised it went through. But again, they really didn't play well the first half. Played better than the second, but still just didn't play well enough to win the game. Elsewhere, Alabama has definitely rebounded from their early loss to Florida State. Texas won in disappointing fashion over UTEP, so now everyone is really doubting Arch Manning, which means maybe he's not going to go in the NFL draft. He's talked about he might stay at Texas another year to try to improve his stock as best he can. And of course, both UCLA and Virginia Tech fired their coaches after 0-3 starts. Admittedly, the Bruins were left in a lurch a couple of years ago by Chip Kelly. They promoted Deshaun Foster, who was just way over his head. That program has funding problems. I guess they just don't have enough big money donors from UCLA to try to fix that for NIL purposes, which is really where they kind of need it at the moment. They got stuck in a really bad apparel deal with Under Armour, so yeah, this is not a desirable job, and it's going to take a lot of work to try to fix it. As for Virginia Tech, well, you're probably going to hear a lot of rumors about them wanting Shane Beamer. He has lineage to the university, obviously, so he'll probably be the top candidate, but he seems pretty content at South Carolina right now. Maybe Tech has the big money donors to lure him over, but I don't know if it would necessarily be a step up. I think he's much happier in the SEC right now. I did hit on all three of my NFL picks. Miami and New England was a higher scoring game than I thought it was going to be, but again, it turned out to be close, but the Patriots ultimately won that. Arizona held off Carolina in the final moments, and like I said, Tampa Bay beat Houston on the last second drive with a touchdown by Rachaad White. Elsewhere, obviously, the Giants and Dallas had a shootout for the ages. Surprisingly defensive overtime period given these new rules. So, yeah, again, kind of a surprise game there. The Eagles put the Kansas City Chiefs back to 0-2. The Bengals rallied to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Joe Burrow is injured. Seattle beat Pittsburgh, mostly due to a mishandled kickoff that blew the game wide open. And, of course, the Atlanta Falcons dominated the Minnesota Vikings, and J.J. McCarthy is injured for at least 2 weeks, meaning that there is no joy, there is no love, there is only Deathmate.
All hail Deathmate. All hail Deathmate. All hail Deathmate. All hail Deathmate. All hail Deathmate. All hail Deathmate.
Deathmate. All hail Deathmate. Anyway, the 6 games we're covering this week are Tulane versus Ole Miss, Boise State versus Air Force, and Washington versus Washington State in the Apple Cup. On the NFL side, we have Las Vegas taking on Washington, Green Bay taking on Cleveland, and New Orleans taking on Seattle. Okay, so I guess to explain the lineup, I've always said that I try to take care of every NFL team at least once. Try not to double up too quickly unless it becomes absolutely necessary or absolutely unavoidable. And I think I may have a couple games backwards from the way the pictures are. They're supposed to be accurate, at least to the schedule that I read. So they should be right now. So we'll start covering them right after the break.
Hi, I'm Stephen Polander, and this is Polander Preserves. My family started making them way back in 1896. Today, we still make them the same way. We use the best fruits, carefully cooked and watched over by a Polander. I think our preserves taste the best. Try them. If they didn't taste great, my family would have been out of business a long time ago.
Polander, our delicious food products grow on a family tree.
Your feet have had a rough day. Soothe them with Isotoner Comfort footwear. The unique fabric gently shapes to your foot for a soothing barefoot fit. Isotoner Comfort footwear by Aris.
At fine department and specialties.
Television is turning on more people these days via video porn. And in a special 3-part series, Entertainment Tonight takes an inside look.
You'll hear from the brightest star and the hottest director in XXX. Then Peter Strauss plays it tough as steel, and Christopher Atkins moves in on Dallas.
I've had crushes on older women.
Plus, hot actor John Lithgow, bubbly Zsa Zsa Gabor, and a special visit with Paul McCartney.
A big week starts at 7:30. Then at 9, it's Monday Night Football on 7.
We're all more conscientious about reading the label on the drugs that we take. But Bob Blanchard tells us in an Eyewitness Extra special report that many over-the-counter and prescription drugs contain fillers that are not on the label. Fillers that can do more harm than good.
I had a stroke and I'm paralyzed on my left side. It's too late for me, but maybe it's not too late for anybody else.
Join Bill Buttel and me for Not on the Label, Cures That Can Kill on Eyewitness Extra, starting Monday at 4:30 on Channel 7.
Our first game is the Tulane Green Wave taking on the Ole Miss Rebels. Yes, we're starting off with what might actually be the game of the week. You know, if I awarded terms like game of the week to any of these. Okay, so the Green Wave have become the leading favorite to be the Group of 5 representative in the college football playoffs. They got the big transfer in former BYU quarterback Jake Retzlaff. They have 2 wins over Power 4 opponents in Northwestern and Duke. Now, granted, those 2 victories were at home, and this game will be in Oxford. And they did almost blow a big lead against Duke, which has led to there being a lot of questions about their defense. The Green Wave's offense is high-powered enough that it could carry them to victory, but again, the defensive questions do loom large. Now, the Rebels are currently leading the SEC, mainly because they've played the most conference games, which they've won over Arkansas and Kentucky. They also beat Georgia State pretty handily in Week 1. And while most people would point to the offensive success being due to quarterback Austin Simmons, I really think the strength is their 1-2 punch at running back with Logan Diggs and K1 Lacey. That being said, the Rebels have also given up a lot of points on defense as well, especially to Kentucky and Arkansas. Those games were a little bit closer than would be expected. And yeah, I do expect that this game is going to turn into a big shootout. The Green Wave are going to be in it to the end, but ultimately I think Ole Miss is just a little bit more powerful. Their offense is too strong. They're playing at home, so I hope I'm wrong on this, but I do think the Rebels are ultimately going to win this. So yeah, I like Ole Miss here.
Yeah, golf. Good ball. Golf. Now football.
Let's
what boat?
Miller Lite presents Full Contact Golf. Yeah! We're still on the first hole, Bob, and this is Davis teeing it up. Here's the drive. It is blocked! Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything. Oh, he's got daylight going for the green. Here's the putt. There's the blitz. Yeah! Oh, good beer. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Fava knows what's happening in the world of fashion, and Fava gets those new looks to you fast.
For only $18, kick up your heels and save with Fava's special purchase.
You get the latest styles with that big Fava difference value.
These partygoers are colorful, elegant, sophisticated, and just $18. But hurry, these exciting new holiday favorites will be $23.96 after this special event.
Shop smart. Come in and get the best selection now. Is that my size?
A little smarter and Fava.
Different people have different kinds of coughs. A dry cough, a cough that keeps you awake, a cough with a stuffed-up nose. And some people have a combination of symptoms. That's why there are 4 different kinds of Robitussin. Each contains an expectorant to help loosen phlegm, one a cough suppressant to quiet coughs, one adds a decongestant to relieve stuffy nose. One combines all these relief actions. 4 different Robitussin cough medicines for different kinds of coughs. Which Robitussin should you take? Ask your doctor or pharmacist.
Our next matchup is the Boise State Broncos versus the Falcons of the Air Force Academy. Now, one would think that Boise State would actually be the leading contender for that Group of 5 college football playoff spot, but then they got blown out by South Florida in Week 1. They had rallied to beat FCS Eastern Washington, but that's not saying much. This is not the Eastern Washington team that used to light FBS teams on fire in the day. Not to mention, 2 of their other upcoming opponents are Appalachian State and Notre Dame, so it's going to be a tough road to hoe. The offense has definitely lost a step since Ashton Denty moved on to the NFL, and while running backs Sire Gaines and John Berdum are quality running backs, they're not exactly providing too much of an offensive spark. So the Broncos are forced to lean more on quarterback Maddox Madsen, tight end Matt Outer, and wide receiver Chris Marshall. Now, the Air Force Academy has also had a very up-down start to the season, which includes a surprising loss to Utah State. Now, they did beat FCS Bucknell, but again, it's an FCS opponent. They're kind of supposed to be beating them. Now, Coach Troy Calhoun's triple-option flexbone offense has put up some very nice numbers. Running backs Caden Cloud and Dylan Carson, of course, are the focal points in there, but quarterback Josh Johnson can throw if needed. That being said, they've also been giving up a lot of numbers on defense, which should definitely help the Broncos, who might have some motivation if, say, Tulane were to lose. USF already lost to Miami last week, so this could maybe clear the way for the Broncos to get back into the college football playoff picture. And the Falcons do pose something of a threat, but I think the experience are going to carry the Broncos here. They'll probably win a very close but high-scoring game.
There's a lot of ground to cover. Sometimes it's like I have to be in 2 places at once. It's rough on the body. And definitely, it's no picnic on your hair. That's why I use Perplush Dye Damage.
1 smart shampoo plus 2 conditioners. 1 conditions all over. The second goes straight to the damaged spots.
It's kind of like twice the coverage. My hair is soft. It does what I want.
Pert Plus.
I'm happy.
Some pizza places' so-called $4 pizzas can cost you as much as $19.99, so check the fine print. At Little Caesars, we simply offer 2 medium pizzas, 8 toppings. Pizza. $8.88.
Are you snacking yourself into a junk food rut?
I need the energy boost.
I can stop anytime.
Stuffing yourself with empty calories. Well, there is a way out of your junk food rut. Prunes from California. They're sweet, moist, and satisfying. Yet packed with energy, full of vitamins and minerals. And no pits. California prunes. They'll lift you out of your junk food rut.
Our third game is the Washington Huskies taking on the Washington State Cougars in the annual Boeing Apple Cup game, so you can expect the doors to fall off of this one, too. Now, the Huskies are definitely looking to bounce back from a disappointing 2024, which included a loss to Wazoo. Quarterback Denzel Williams has managed to put up some pretty good numbers against the likes of Colorado State and UC Davis, and all due respect to the Rams and Aggies, yeah, I don't think that's too much of a test, especially for the Huskies defense. Washington State can still put up some big numbers on the offense. They don't quite run the old air raid that they used to, but again, they can be pretty much a threat, especially against a heated rival. That being said, the Cougars have also had a disappointing start to the season. They barely scraped by Idaho. They lost to North Texas. The defense did manage to put up big numbers against San Diego State, but San Diego State's not a very good team. So the offense has been hit and miss. They're not exactly firing on all cylinders. They do have a new coach, Jimmy Rogers, which I have to mention. My brother's an alum of South Dakota State, so yeah, that's where Rogers is from. Might be a little bit of bias, but quarterbacks Zevi Eckhouse, wide receivers Caden Harkin and Jeremiah Noga do put up some decent numbers at times, but again, they need to be a little bit more trustworthy. In the end, the Huskies are looking for revenge. They're extra motivated. Washington State is not in a good place right now, so I'm picking Washington to win this one.
When you want value, you come to number one. You spend more of your food dollars at Pathmark than any other supermarket in the metro New York, New Jersey area. Starting Sunday, get a half gallon of Seal Test orange juice, $1.29. And with these newspaper coupons, get Land O'Lakes butter, 1 pound quarters, $1.69. And Chicken of the Sea solid white tuna, 7-ounce can, 69 cents. So keep coming to number one. Come to Pathmark for value 24 hours a day.
What nut did this?
What nut did this?
Diamond walnuts did it, with a delicious fresh flavor and crisp crunch that's made them America's favorite walnut for over 70 years. They're the nuts that make everything you make special.
Wow! What nut did this?
Diamond walnuts, the nuts that get done.
Taxi! Hi, I'm off to Hollywood for a fabulous weekend with the stars. I was supposed to get a limo, but you know how things are. Anyway, I'll be visiting the home of some of the famous celebrities like Ann Gillian, Tom Bosley from Happy Days, Jane Seymour, Stuart Damon from General Hospital, and from Entertainment Tonight, Miss Mary Hart. So, be sure to watch the morning show starting Monday at 9, because it's going to be a Hollywood holiday with the stars. And me, only on Channel 7.
Just the first thing in your morning, the morning show.
Moving on to the NFL, we start things off with the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Washington Commanders in the battle of teams that had really disappointing second weeks this season. The Raiders looked strong against New England and then proceeded to get completely blown out by the Chargers. Ashton Dante has only been okay, but he really has yet to live up to his professional hype. That being said, Geno Smith has played very well at quarterback, with Brock Bowers and Ja'Cory Harris putting up some good numbers. The problem is the defense is just a little too unpredictable. Again, they got blown out by the Chargers. Max Crosby is great, but they need to be just more than Max Crosby. As for Washington, well, they really came out flat against the Packers on Thursday night. They did rally a little bit late, but ultimately they lost a game they really didn't have too much of a shot in. Jayden Daniels needs to work with Terry McLaurin more into the offense. I think that's where he's struggling a little bit. Austin Eckler, their lead running back, is now out for the season, so they're going to need to rely more on their rookie, Ja'Cory Harris. Likewise, the defense struggled against the Packers. That being said, they did rally a little bit late too, and did hold them in check in the second half for the most part. The Raiders play a very similar running style, so especially with the tight end being utilized as a weapon in particular, that could pose a bit of a threat to the Commanders. That being said, overall, the Raiders are going to be playing on a short week. They're crossing the country. I do think that plays more into the Commanders' favor. I'm going to guess they probably win this by a couple possessions. I don't think there's going to be too much of a worry here. Washington will win this.
And now, some remarkable words from your Pontiac dealer.
Introducing Pontiac 6000. Remarkably engineered for total performance and driving excitement. The new 1984 6000. Front-wheel drive, power rack and pinion steering, and electronic fuel injection. And what's more, we've got them at remarkable prices.
So if you haven't talked to your Pontiac dealer, you haven't shopped for a car.
Boots. Don't face the winter without boots. Boots by Revelations. Toasty warm waterproof storm boots. Smart waterproof nylon boots. Simply gorgeous. All by Revelations. All with the red carpet cushion for super comfort and extra warmth. Revelations. We've made a fashion out of comfort. Available at Macy's and Bamberger's.
Our next matchup is the Green Bay Packers traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. And did you know that the Packers traded for Micah Parsons? Yeah, that trade has obviously worked out pretty well. They've even moved up to stop the run even better than they did last year. Now, the defense held the Lions and Commanders in check over the last couple of weeks, and the offense tends to start very hot. However, they do sometimes cool off as the second half goes on. They haven't put up a lot of second half points. Then again, they really haven't needed to. They've been up by a lot, so maybe they've been falling back and resting on their laurels a little bit. As for the Browns, they are not good. The defense actually does play pretty well. I know they just had 40 of the points dropped on them by the Ravens, but that was an overworked defense. Most of that came at like the last bit of the third quarter and most of the fourth. So they did hang in there for most of the game, but I think the Joe Flacco stance is now officially over. I'm guessing that Dylan Gabriel is going to be starting pretty soon, if not this week. So they don't have a run game to speak of. The Browns really have no shot here. The Packers are going to win this one big. There's not really much else to say than that.
You've already read the news that 7-Up has no caffeine. But have you read today's news? 7-Up also has no artificial color. These are artificially colored. 7-Up has no artificial flavor. These have artificial flavor. So naturally, 7-Up has a clean, refreshing, unspoiled taste. Just look at the contents.
If I used an ordinary cream cheese, I'd hear about it.
We bagels would go on strike.
Not use Philly cream cheese?
We desert you.
Why pay so much for everything your recipes call for, then not use Philadelphia brand?
So don't blow it.
All your recipes deserve Philadelphia brand cream cheese. And that's not even counting the biggest investment of all, your time and effort.
I've been told by my mole.
Isn't it silly not to use Philly?
Have you ever wondered why knowledgeable women from all over the world come to this small town of Flemington, New Jersey to purchase their furs? They know that at Flemington Furs, they find that unbeatable combination of extraordinary selection, superior quality, outstanding fashion, uncommon service, and exceptional value. Come see for yourself. See why once you visited Flemington Furs, you'll never buy furs anywhere else. Flemington Fur, Flemington, New Jersey, open Sunday and every day.
Our final game sees the New Orleans Saints taking on the Seattle Seahawks, and will probably be a rainier version of our previous game. The only real difference is that the Seattle Seahawks have lost a game, though they were actually in position to beat the 49ers, as were the New Orleans Saints. The Seahawks have managed to rediscover the run game with Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet. They moved the ball really well against the Steelers. They had a couple of slip-ups here and there. They doinked an extra point, not an extra point, a field goal. They missed another one. The defense, like I said, did hold the Steelers in check for most of it. Pittsburgh got a lot of field goals. There was a turnover, but other than that, they played a really well game. And of course, there was the bungled kickoff that Seattle got to recover in the end zone for a touchdown that really did blow the game wide open. Still, they looked really well. They do seem to be coming up as a team finally again. Now, the Saints are a team that are purportedly in the tank for maybe Arch Manning. Did you hear what I said earlier about him? Maybe he won't go into the draft this year. And the offense is led primarily by Alvin Kamara. Spencer Rattler has made a couple of decent plays pretty well here and there. Like I said, they've actually been in both games this season. They trailed the Cardinals by 7 points late. They were moving the ball down the field. They kind of ran out of time. And the 49ers pulled away very late. But again, that game was 5-point separation, I think, with like 3 or 4 minutes to go. So again, they've been in it. I think it's just that the defense is pretty much dead at this point. Cam Jordan isn't what he used to be. A lot of those guys are at the end of their career. It does seem like the Saints are in a full-on rebuild right now. This one might be a little bit closer than you think, like I said, given the 2 previous games the Saints have played, but ultimately I do think Seattle is going to win this one. So yeah, I'm picking the Seahawks here. We'll wrap things up after the break.
If the mouthwashes don't taste medicine-y, they're not going to kill the germs.
Then we showed attorney Mike McShane how Scope with T25 kills just as many germs as his medicine-y mouthwash. Was he convinced?
Just because you put that up there, I'm not going to believe that. I hate to admit it, I was wrong. This stuff works. It's got something in it. You don't have to go through this medicine-y stuff anymore. You can actually use Scope and it tastes good. And it works.
Antiseptic Scope leaves your breath minty fresh, not medicine-y.
It's got this bang, you know?
It's Mel Farr Superstar bringing you another great deal you can't refuse.
At Mel Farr Ford and Mel Farr Lincoln Mercury McCool, we take the worry out of buying a used car. We have almost $1 million worth of used cars for you to choose from. And only from me, your Superstar dealer, can you get 24 months, 24,000 mile guarantee in writing. At Mel Farr Ford, buy this 86 Escort for only $119 per month. This 84 EXP for only $89 per month. This 1985 Escort for only $97 per month. Or at Mel Farr Lincoln Mercury, this 84 Grand Marquis for only $189 per month. This 1984 Olds Delta 88 for only $169 per month. Cash in on any one of my Gold Star used cars and get 24 months, 24,000 mile written guarantee. The other dealers cannot match my low prices. They cannot guarantee you 24 months, 24,000 miles, and they cannot fly either.
Mel Farr Ford, 10 Mile in Greenfield, Oak Park. Mel Farr Lincoln Mercury at the foot of Telegraph Road and Dixie Highway in Pontiac.
Okay, so to wrap things up, I like Ole Miss over Tulane, Boise State over Air Force, and Washington over Washington State in the Apple Cup. On the NFL side, I like Washington over Las Vegas, Green Bay over Cleveland, and Seattle over New Orleans. Okay, so if you don't remember if you didn't notice my post on the channel yesterday, I was going to do AEW All Out this weekend, but given the fact that I had to push so much back, I'm just going to cut that, unfortunately. I'm not going to do WrestlePalooza either. I need to focus on trying to get the random trade review on Doomsday Clock up on either Monday or Tuesday, so I just need to do that and focus on getting that done before I do anything else. The football stuff is easy. I could just play a video game and capture footage. Like, that's not hard. Paying attention to a full wrestling show between 4 to 5 hours, no matter what, is going to be too much, so... Yeah, I need the time to get things done. I need the time to rest. Writing the Doomsday Clock script really did take a lot out of me. Anyway, the games we're going to be covering next week, though, are Rice versus Navy, Oregon versus Penn State, and Louisville versus Pittsburgh. Then on the NFL side, we'll have Indianapolis taking on the LA Rams, Jacksonville taking on San Francisco, and Cincinnati taking on Denver. See you all next time. Hey guys, remember that you can support my work at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcat productions, or just click the link in the description. Also, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you can be made aware of further videos.